back, Soul Family, to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. I'm your host, Max Soul.
And I'm Mello Soul. And tonight we're diving deep into the foundations of soul.
Deep, deep.
Exploring the blueprints laid by the giants who shaped the sound we all love and continue to build upon.
That's right, Mello. Every artist stands on the shoulders of those who came before. And for us, in Soul and the New Vibe, understanding those architects isn't just about history to us. It's about learning the profound lessons they embedded in their music and in their lives. Lessons that are still so relevant for us and for all of our peers creating soul music today and any other style of music today.
Absolutely, Max. And today we're equating two stories inexorably linked, shining a light on two incredibly powerful yet sometimes tragically misunderstood figures.
Ooh, that sounds deep, Mel.
Oh, these are figures whose impact resonates through every chord and every lyric in modern soul, as one influence passing down to another generation. And so repeats the role of brilliance that suffers the fate of the tragically misunderstood.
That's right, Mello. We are talking about the incomparable Donny Hathaway, musical mentor to the unforgettable Amy Winehouse.
That's right. Today we examine the link connection between what you hear and what you create when someone sparks that light inside your drive.
That's right. Two artists whose genius was undeniable and whose stories offer not just musical inspiration, but also some incredibly poignant cautionary tales about the pressures of artistry and life in the spotlight. And that's a very deep part of what we do. So we'll explore their unique contributions, their undeniable connections, and what we as today's architects of soul can learn from their journeys. So stick around. It's going to be a deep dive.
You bet it is, Max. And you're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. And we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, Soul Fam. This is the story of an architect of soul who burned bright, but not for long. Unfortunately, another byproduct of balancing art, business, and the soul. All right, let's kick things off with a true titan. A man whose name might not be as universally shouted as some, but whose influence is felt like an earthquake through the bedrock of soul music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Talking about Donny Hathaway.
Damn right, Mello. If you're serious about soul, you know Donny. He was an absolute genius, bridging worlds that many thought couldn't be connected. His core lesson for us: don't be afraid to blend your influences. Mm-hmm. Sound familiar, don't it, Mel?
Very.
I love that shit. Donny fused gospel, jazz, blues, and classical music with contemporary R&B and soul. He wasn't just playing, he was composing, arranging, giving his work a sophistication and an emotional depth. Well, it was revolutionary for that time. Not everyone knows the full story behind this storied visionary's life. Mel, he started performing at age 3, singing in his grandmother's church choir in St. Louis. And then he toured the gospel circuit as Little Donny Pitts, the nation's youngest gospel singer. How cool is that?
That's really cool. And don't forget, Max, that he was also a piano prodigy who received...
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, he received a fine arts scholarship to Howard University to study music theory and composition, which was a rare background for a soul artist at the time.
Truly. If they knew chords, you would be lucky, right?
Exactly. He reportedly studied composers like Ravel, Debussy, and Stravinsky, and this classical intricacy informed his complex arrangements.
Ooh, that sounded so good. Exactly, right? You think about that. A classical music scholar from Howard University who grew up singing gospel, then bringing all that intricate knowledge and raw spiritual power into secular soul music. Shit, that's badass. Mm-hmm. That's a huge lesson for any artist today. Your unique background is your strength. Donny taught us that authenticity comes from bringing all of yourself to the music, no matter how disparate your influences might seem.
Yeah, his vocal delivery, too, was a masterclass in emotional vulnerability.
Oh, without a doubt.
That plaintive, gospel-tinged voice, the way he could convey so much pain and hope simultaneously.
You definitely felt him.
Yeah, listen to Someday We'll All Be Free.
Or The Ghetto.
Or The Ghetto. The lesson there is clear. Emotional honesty connects on a deeper level than vocal acrobatics ever will.
Oh, hell yeah.
He wasn't just singing notes, he was sharing his soul.
He really was sharing his soul. Donny felt everything.
That's right, Max. And after leaving Howard University, he moved to Chicago, where he was quickly hired by Curtis Mayfield
Snarked up.
at his newly formed Curtum Records label.
And it seems that Curtis was so impressed that he appointed the young Hathaway as a producer and arranger. And at one point, Curtis wanted Donny to serve as the musical director for the Impressions while he went on the road. So, you know, here we see maybe the first signs of a crack in Donny's foundation, because he found the workload, which included his A&R stuff and the production duties, to be overwhelming, and he was bewildered.
And because of Curtis's hiring Donny, we can't forget his work as a session musician and a producer and arranger for folks like Aretha Franklin and Curtis Mayfield himself before his solo career really took off.
Yeah, that's right. After a stint on the road, he eventually stepped away to focus on his career and recording of his music. But that speaks volumes about the lesson of mastering your craft at all angles. Mm-hmm. Don't you think, Mello? Donny wasn't just a singer. He was a complete musician who understood how every piece of the sonic puzzle fit together. That holistic approach is something we constantly strive for in our music. And understanding the composition, arrangement, and production, man, it makes you a more formidable artist.
Definitely, Max. Donny Hathaway was one of the most brilliant and influential talents in soul music. At the beginning of 1970s, despite his tragically short career, in fact, Max's live album released in 72.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's consistently cited as one of the greatest live albums ever by anybody.
Without a doubt, right?
Yeah, it's a testament to the power of a performer who could truly communicate directly with an audience.
And don't forget the duets.
You know, those iconic duets with Roberta Flack, Where's the Love, Closer I Get to You, Back Together Again.
Right.
They show the magic that happens when two incredible artists truly listen and build together. And it's a crucial lesson. Collaboration can elevate your art to new heights. So
true, Mello. Donny Hathaway's music seamlessly fused gospel, jazz, blues, and classical with this contemporary R&B soul. I mean, we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. The depth of sophistication that set him apart, right? His expressive gospel-tinged voice delivered those secular songs with emotional intensity typically found only in church music.
Yeah, Max. As a singer, I can't not see the broad scope of the genius of Donny Hathaway. He possessed a plaintive, deeply emotional, and velvety singing style that is revered as one of the greatest voices in soul music. And I would say in music in general, really.
He really was an amazing singer.
Yeah, his vocal runs and the ability to convey vulnerability are key aspects of his influence.
Yeah, his blueprint is clear, isn't it?
Yeah, the clear blueprint is to be diverse in your influences, be authentic in your expression, and master your entire musical toolkit.
Right, and that's a pretty big toolkit for Donny Hathaway.
Exactly. He had a lot of stuff in his toolkit.
Plus, he didn't shy away from collaboration.
No, he built a bridge between the past and the future of soul.
And let's just touch on those landmark recordings that Donny Hathaway brought us. Let's start with The Ghetto, Part 1, 1970. Like, this was his breakthrough. Mm-hmm. It was a mostly instrumental track, and it showcased his electric piano skills, and he was hailed as a major new force in soul.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we can't not talk about Someday We'll All Be Free.
No, we cannot.
Which became one of the most important, expressive, and hopeful songs of all time.
And let's not leave out This Christmas in 1970, which became a perennial holiday classic.
Every year, I listen to those bells. And don't forget his collaborations, which we touched on for a second earlier, Max, but especially with Roberta Flack.
I Smell Grammy.
Yeah, with the Grammy-winning Where's the Love and The Closer I Get to You, which were massive crossover
Massive, hits. Man, massive. So Donny and Roberta first met as students at Howard University, where they formed a strong friendship.
That's right. And the story is that Roberta was performing at a club in Washington, D.C. The legendary Atlantic Records producer Jerry Wexler.
Okay, so where have we seen that string that never stops unwinding?
Good old Jerry.
Right? He's our boy.
He was in the audience, and there's a string that never stops unwinding.
No, it does not.
Our hero Jerry Wexler, truly turning into the Superman of R&B and soul.
Yeah, that guy was a true architect, and his influence shows up in so many places. And if you haven't seen it, by the way, last week we aired part 2 of The Atlantic Sound, our first two-parter, and if you haven't caught parts 1 and 2, you should check it out and see the amazingness of Jerry Wexler. So, getting back to the story, sorry, Mello. Flack performed her cover of Carole King's You Got a Friend, And Jerry Wexler was so moved that he immediately suggested to her that she and Hathaway record the song and maybe do an entire album of duets to consolidate their popular appeal. Who the hell knew?
Okay, and this led to their Grammy-winning 1972 album, Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway.
And Jerry Wexler, right? And let's not forget, he also made a huge impact when he recorded the vocal for the theme song to Maude. That's another thing Donny did.
Yeah.
Right? Becoming one of the most widely known pieces of music of his. And coming from a surprising source, TV, which didn't really exist that much in the 60s the same way it did in the 70s. And Donny recorded and sang the sassy, memorable theme for the groundbreaking sitcom. And, well, while he didn't write it, the arrangement and performance are distinctly his, showcasing his versatility as a studio artist.
True, too, Max. The thread between all these...
True.
Too true, Max. The thread between these architects of soul is almost like a spider web, as all the tendrils seem to connect to somewhere else.
Right, they're all over the place.
Yeah, the strength creating collaboration and cross-pollination of styles.
Which, of course, we have no problem with. Cross-pollinating styles is what this is all about. So it's too true. The string between all these architects is almost like a spider web. But if we're starting to feel familiar to you, because it sounds familiar to us.
If you're getting the feel and the flow.
And if our swerve matches yours, and especially if you like this content, please give a like and subscribe to our channel. Hey, how'd you like how we slipped that in?
Yeah, please do, yes. It means a great deal to us, though, and it allows us to keep showing the determination and the soul of these architects of soul.
Of soul.
Flaws and all.
Flaws and all, right? And we really do appreciate you listening, and we really appreciate you subscribing. So, lastly, before we go to break, in January of 1979, Donny was in a recording session for the new album with Roberta Flack's producers and musicians in New York. And the musicians reported that while Hathaway was singing beautifully, they could see that his mental state was deteriorating.
Yes, Max. Everyone agreed that Donny began exhibiting extreme paranoia, expressing fears that, quote, white people were trying to kill him, and connected his brain to a machine for the purpose of stealing his music and his voice.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
According to reports, he'd been in a recording session for the second duet on the same day, right? So the session ended early. And Donny was, exhibiting this irrational and delusional behavior. And then a few hours later, they found him dead after falling from his 15th floor hotel room window. Or he jumped. I mean, we'll never know the answer to that, right? But what this illustrates is the powerful dichotomy of his life. A man of singular, genre-defying genius whose music brought so much light and emotional truth to the world, yet who battled devastating mental health struggles in private.
Unfortunately, not an uncommon occurrence in our business.
No, it's not.
No strangers are we to the demons that live in the dark.
Yes, Mello. Part of our business is how your mind takes up to the upside down and backwards roller coaster that we, as artists, have to go through as we aspire to reach higher ground. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Amy Winehouse and Donny's impact on her and how tragedy of one was visited on another.
Yes, Max, true. And not just the same way, but the same results.
So stick with us. We're going to take you forward and talk about another bright star that dimmed the black way too fast. We're diving deep with Architects of Soul, and Max and Mello will be right back.
Stay with us.
Hey, welcome back to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. So before the break, we were soaking in the genius of Donny Hathaway. Now, let's shift our focus to an artist who, in many ways, picked up that torch and carried it forward with her own unique fire, the one and only Amy Winehouse.
Amy. Just saying her name evokes a certain emotion,
doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, her impact on modern soul is undeniable.
Truly.
And she carried lessons from the greats, Donny Hathaway included, into a new era. And the biggest lesson from Amy, own your narrative and be unapologetically yourself, even when it's messy.
Oh, yeah, even when it's messy.
Yeah, her lyrics were raw, honest, and often deeply personal. She wasn't trying to be anybody else, just Amy.
Just Amy, right? Yeah. Exactly. Amy wasn't just a singer. She was a storyteller. Her music was rooted in that classic soul tradition, but with a modern sensibility and a biting, witty lyrical style. Her vocal phrasing, the depth of emotion she poured into every line, definitely reminiscent of those earlier soul titans, yet entirely her own. She really was unique. She proved that authenticity, even when it's painful, resonates deeply with listeners. Oh, you got to believe that. You hear her struggles. You hear the struggle in her voice, in her words, and truly, it's captivating.
Yeah, think about Rehab or Back to Black.
Don't want to go to rehab. No, no, no.
Or Back to Black. These weren't generic pop songs.
No, not at all.
They were vignettes from her life, painted with vivid honesty.
And a very strong brush.
Yeah, the lesson for us modern soul artists is to embrace vulnerability in our songwriting.
She certainly didn't shy away from that, did she?
She did not. She didn't shy away from her truth, and neither should we, because that's what makes your art unique and relatable.
I agree.
People connect with the realness, and especially in today's era of falseness.
Oh, word, Mello. Her sound, too. Don't forget, it was a masterclass in respectful revival. While she had her own sound, she overtly paid homage to the jazz and soul legends that influenced her, bringing her classic sensibility back to the mainstream in a way that truly felt fresh and vibrant. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. It's a powerful lesson for all of us. You can honor tradition without being a relic, right? That's the most important thing. You can take the foundational elements, infuse them with your contemporary experiences, and create something brand new. Ooh, sounds like a new vibe to me, don't it?
Exactly.
So she showed us that retro can be the new vibe. Hey, say. Well, I like that statement. What can I say? The history is our gold mine to knowledge and self-empowerment, and I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, it is, Max. I definitely agree with that. But back to Amy and her stage presence. Her entire persona, she commanded attention simply by being herself. There's a lesson in that for artists navigating the industry today. Your individuality is your greatest asset.
Truly your greatest asset.
You don't let trends dictate your voice. Amy's voice, both literally and figuratively, was unmistakable.
Yes, she reminded us that the soul fire burns brightest when it's fed by genuine emotion and personal truth. Her legacy isn't just about hit songs. It's about inspiring a generation of artists to dig deeper, to sing from the gut, and to never compromise on who they are.
Amen. Just like Donny. It's sad to see that flame burn out so fast, though.
Yeah, so much left to do and so much left to say that will never be said. Yeah, Mello, our business ain't all roses, that's for damn sure.
No. Success and sanity don't always stand in the same place.
No, too true, Mello. And since there's no sanity clause, we're going to use this moment to take a break. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul.
So don't go anywhere.
Thanks for tuning into Architects of Soul. Our music is waiting for you. Hey, welcome back to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. So now let's talk about that undeniable, poignant connection between Donny Hathaway and Amy Winehouse. Man, it's more than just musical influence. It's a shared thread that runs through their lives and legacies.
Absolutely, Max. As you mentioned earlier, Amy famously sang I'd Rather Be at Home with Ray and Mr. Hathaway in the song Rehab.
Yes, she sure did.
Yeah, well, that wasn't just a lyrical nod. It was a profound acknowledgement of her favorite artist.
Yeah, her musical godfather.
That's right. The influence is clear. That raw gospel-influenced, gospel-infused emotional honesty in Hathaway's voice found a spiritual successor in Amy's voice.
Oh, so right, Mello. Amy repeatedly called Donny Hathaway her favorite artist of all time. And you know what, Mello? Her singing embodies the emotional rawness, control, and expressive depth that really did define Donny Hathaway's classic soul sound, particularly his gospel-rooted delivery.
And Amy paid direct tribute by performing and recording his music.
Hell yeah, she sure did.
Yeah, she recorded a stunning cover of Hathaway's iconic rendition of I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. Which, by the way, that's my favorite Donny Hathaway song.
Right.
And also performed his song, We're Still Friends, live.
Yeah, and Donny Hathaway's sound, which combined elements of jazz, gospel, and blues with raw R&B, provided a blueprint for the retro soul sound Winehouse champion. That whole retro thing makes me nutty, because retro is just history, like we talk about.
But it means sort of retread to a lot of people.
But it kind of ain't a retread, because you're taking today to tomorrow, and that's the whole point.
Choir, yeah.
Right, and so when you think about it, her music, particularly Back on Black, it reached back to the 60s and 70s soul, and R&B styles that Hathaway helped pioneer. And that's okay, because we we relive the soul of our childhood in our music too.
Mm-hmm. The lesson here is the power of lineage and the direct mentorship, even across generations. Amy studied Donny and it showed.
And speaking of showed, if you like this content and you're thrilling with what we're revealing,
Oh, God.
what a pun.
Yep, if you're picking up what we're putting down,
Right, then please give us a like and subscribe.
we can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
Right, and speaking of stories, this is where the stories take a more somber but critical turn. As almost all of us are, both Donny and Amy, well, they were artists who poured their entire beings into their music, often at immense personal cost. And as we said earlier, Donny battled severe paranoid schizophrenia, and Amy struggled openly with addiction and mental health issues. Both of their lives tragically cut short. And it leaves us to wonder about the even greater depths of the music that they might have created.
Yeah, this shared narrative highlights a critical, often unspoken lesson for every artist today. Protect your instrument.
Right.
And that includes your mind and your well-being.
100%.
Oh, yeah, because the industry demands of creativity, the public eye, they can be incredibly taxing.
Yeah, the incredible highs and lows of its business. Donny and Amy's stories are stark reminders of the importance of mental health, setting boundaries and seeking help. Because your art is invaluable, but guess what? So are you.
Big truth, Max. This is your mental health.
Right?
A battle a ton of musicians fight. So love who you are and love what you do, but don't lose your head in the pain that comes with this. Because surely everyone who's been there will tell you, pain does come with this along with joy.
Yes, exactly, Mel, like sunshine and rain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tough lesson and an essential one, right? Because we often celebrate the tortured artist.
Except that tortured artist is truly affected by this pain.
And the truth actually is a healthy artist can create for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And their vulnerability in their music was their strength. But their vulnerability in their life became a tragedy. And that reminds us that while we aspire to their musical greatness, we must also learn from their struggles to nurture our own well-being as we navigate this journey.
Exactly, Max. Their stories tell us to seek out those wise mentors and build strong support systems and understand that self-care isn't selfish.
It's not.
It's essential for longevity and sustained creativity. And we want to be architects who build enduring structures, not brilliant flashes that burn out too quickly.
Right. No buildings falling down because of poor foundation, right?
No. And Donny and Amy's combined legacy is a powerful testament to the beauty of unfiltered soul, but also a siren call to protect the artist behind the music.
Right. Walking on a gilded edge, Mello. One slip is all it takes sometimes. And speaking of takes, we're going to take our last break and come back and wrap up this celebration of beauty juxtaposed to the tragedy of the dark side in us all. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul, and we'll be right back.
And welcome back to the final segment of Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. We just want to remind everyone that there's a video version of Architects of Soul on our YouTube page.
That's right. There's a video version of the podcast that you can catch on our page.
Along with the RSS feed.
Correct. So if you don't feel like listening, you want to learn something, there's some extra content on the video version. And if you just feel like listening, then just throw the RSS feed on, take a walk.
There you go.
All right. So we've explored the immense contributions of Donny Hathaway and Amy Winehouse and the powerful lessons embedded in their music and their lives.
So what does this mean for us and for all the incredible artists out there creating their own story like we are in Soul and the New Vibe?
Yeah.
How does this make us better today? It means taking those blueprints from the past and using them to construct our future.
Indeed, Mello. The lessons are clear. From Donny, we learned about musical fearlessness and genre blending, about bringing all our influences to the table, which is something we do in our music, so we love this.
Yep.
We learn about mastering the full spectrum of musicality, right? Not just singing, but arranging, producing, understanding the craft deeply. And we learn the profound power of authentic emotional expression, making every note resonate with truth. Donny Hathaway's work is a direct and profound influence on generations of soul and R&B and neo-soul artists. And they include Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross, right? Alicia Keys, D'Angelo, and John Legend.
That's right. And from Amy, we gained the conviction to own our unique stories and voices, to be unapologetically ourselves.
Hell yeah.
Even if it means standing apart.
That's right.
She taught us how to respectfully innovate with tradition, taking those classic sounds and making them fresh and relevant for a new generation. Her rawness reminds us to embrace vulnerability in our art.
Hell yes, it does. Both artists infuse their music with an unapologetic, raw, emotional honesty. Donny Hathaway's songs often spoke to despair and hope, while Amy Winehouse's lyrics were famously sincere and explicit about her heartbreak and struggles.
But perhaps the most crucial lesson they both impart, especially when we look at their tragic early departures, is the absolute necessity of protecting the artist.
And that means nurturing your mental health, understanding the pressures of the industry, building strong support systems, and knowing when to step back and recharge. Your well-being is paramount to your ability to create enduring art.
For Soul in the New Vibe and for all our peers, these architects aren't just names in a history book.
No.
Now, they're living, breathing guides. Their paths teach us to strive for musical excellence, to be brave in our creativity, to find our unique voice, and importantly, to navigate the journey with wisdom and self-care.
Self-care. That means take care of yourself.
That's what, exactly. We take these lessons and infuse them into every beat, every melody, every lyric we create, pushing soul music forward while always honoring its rich heritage.
And because the Soul Fire isn't just about sounding good, it's about feeling good and doing good with your art, for yourself and for your audience. So as always, we leave you with this wish.
Keep that soul fire burning, protect your sound, nurture your creativity, own your voice, and remember the lessons from the giants who came before.
And yes, protect your masters and seek out wise mentors who can guide you on your journey. And until next we meet, peace and soul, y'all.